Fundstrat's Tom Lee remains optimistic about the market and joins us this afternoon to talk more about the geopolitical tensions we're seeing. Tom, good to see you again.
Great to see you, Carl and Morgan.
You've said in prior times of stress that it's not a good time to be a hero. Is this one of those times?
Well, I mean, it's been a very difficult setup for markets because we were already seeing markets struggle with inflation and Fed hikes and rising rates, and then now we have a real escalation of geopolitical tensions. And that's correct. It's tough to be a hero, but I think investors are on that sort of cliff edge, and I do want to just, encourage people. This is a good risk-reward moment for stocks. I know it's kind of ugly today, and it's been a very ugly few weeks, but I would still sort of lean pretty hard into this and say, this is not a time to be selling stocks. I'd rather be a buyer here, even if there is potentially some downside.
I was going to say, it sounds like your view for the first half in general is somewhat treacherous before you see the markets improving in the back half of the year. If you were to get in around these periods, you'd be in for a few months of where it would demand you to be patient, I guess.
That's right, Carl. I mean, I guess, in December we thought, it would be very difficult to make money in the first 6 months of this year. But now we're in February, the market's down 10%. I mean, I think the one thing that we all have to ask ourselves is, how much more bad news can happen between now and the end of the first half that would push stocks down. And this is where I'm really starting to think that, maybe a lot of that downside that we thought would happen sometime in the first half, down 10%. I mean, we're already pretty much here. So, I know we're in a buyer strike, and I know investors are nervous, and nobody wants to see global conflict and deaths and civilian casualties. But at the same time, we should also just even look at what the market's telling us. I mean, Ukrainian stocks are actually outperforming, and they've outperformed for the past few days, even as Russian stocks are underperforming. So from that perspective, I almost would say a half full glass perspective that it may not be as bad as we think.